What's up everybody? Welcome to a new video, and in this video it's my honor to introduce to you, after a long period of time, I generally will admit that, HydroSafe Labo Cosmetica's rinseless version. Before I start to explain HydroSafe, I'd like to introduce next to me the 3pH Rinseless. When we were looking at the market, we saw that all, including ours, rinselesses are pH neutral. With the pH neutral product, there are also limitations. To overcome these limitations, the product is then allowed to have a longer dwelling time. The downside of having a longer dwelling time is that the product is going to dry in. Now, a rinseless wash drying in by itself could be an issue, but a rinseless wash that is on top of dirt, accumulating or bonding with the dirt on the surface, then lets dry in, becomes like an encrusted situation on the surface of the car. To overcome this issue, manufacturers added more mechanical action in the form of towels or scrubbers to overcome the detergency power or the detergency limit from a pH neutral product. Now, to answer in this situation, Labo Cosmetica invented two pre-soaks that are going to overcome the limitations of the detergency power of a pH neutral product, meaning that we have an alkaline version and an acidic version. Preludio Alkaline 1 for the organic, the grease, the dirt, the grime, and Preludio Acidic for the inorganic or the mineral deposits, lime scale spots, helping you to get a full cycle of cleaning during the rinseless system, improving chemical detergency power and reducing mechanical action. Thus, we have here in front of us the 3pH rinseless wash. Now, I've explained to you the 3pH wash. Let's look at HydroSafe by itself. Now, to understand what a rinseless is, we took everything that we can find in the market. I asked a lot of people to help me, guide me through this process to generate what Labo Cosmetica believes should be a rinseless wash. As we found out that all rinselesses in the market are pH neutral, our focus was, with the adding of the nano-sealants and the polymer surfactants, to increase the cleaning power, but in general, the safety of the use of the product. Now, before I start explaining everything about this product, we need to understand that a rinseless is an alternative washing method, something a little bit different than we are used to when we are using a pre-wash, pre-spray, and a rinse and a contact wash. Everything that a rinseless is doing is taking a bucket with a limited amount of product, a couple of wash medias, and that's it. Nothing to be said that you can still do a pre-wash or an APC, but requires longer exposure times compared to the effectiveness of Preludio Acidic and Alkaline, which we will present to you in the next videos. The goal is to clean and protect the entire car using the product diluted in the bucket. Now, I can hear you think, what then is inside of this product? Because words like surfactant-based, polymer-based, and everything, the product is water-based. Added to that water are either surfactants in the form of a polymeric surfactant or a normal surfactant like a cationic surfactant, an anionic surfactant, many different types. Because Giacomo, doctor of chemistry, his main goal or his main education was micromolecular chemistry and polymer technology. So the brain behind this is of course the chemist. So what does this product do so concentrated that very little product is needed? Being a neutral pH product, it has benefits. It has intrinsic characteristics that distinguish it. High lubrication, high detergency, and strong protection. Cleaning and protecting the car at the same step. The protection can last up to 6 weeks. That's at least the best result we have had so far with the man behind the camera himself, Mr. Victor Amaya. We also understand that the main component about the rinseless is the washing media. The chemical itself, because it's pH neutral, has great cleaning capabilities. It can generate huge amounts of lubrication. It has what we would call a loosening effect. I'm not going to say emulsification, but I'm going to say a loosening effect. The polymers are going to bond to the dirt onto the surface because it's either negatively or positively charged, linking it and keeping it in suspense. And together with the combined action of the washing tools, they allow you to obtain an excellent result. So you will have a high responsibility selecting a proper wash media where you can convince or have the confidence that when you're using this wash media, you're not damaging the surface. I have done, together with Eddie Cologne and Harold and Tim from the Old Detailing Dudes, a very good demonstration how you can wash your car with the use of this product without damaging the surface or creating more damage. Now we come to the part of the protection, because the polymer inside is working as a surfactant, but it's also working as the protection. So it's doing two things at once. That's something a polymer can do, especially if you ask the master in the chemistry lab. We will show you exactly how this product is most commonly used. There are very different ways to use this product, but based on what I've learned in the last it's not a couple of years, but a little bit more than a year, to see what these products can do. The instructions for the product, we will move back to the car, and as an addition to what the limitations of a rinseless is, we are going to move to another separate video where we're going to explain the 3 pH rinseless system all together with the 3 products that Labo Cosmetica has created in the rinseless world. For the dilution ratios, let's keep it super simple. And as in simple, I'm going to tell you one. The 1 to 256 or the 1 to 200 inside of the bucket, and as a pre-soak, neutral pre-soak spray. There is a possibility to up the dilution, say drying aid range, say waterless range, say quick detailer range. That's something from 1 to 100. I would not suggest to do anything more. HydroSave contains nano-sealants that provide protection. Is very important to work section for section or panel for panel without ever letting the product dry. If you don't want to work panel by panel, you must take into account that the installation times change based on these 4 factors: time, temperature, dilution, and mechanical action. If one of these factors changes, your approach will also have to change. How to use HydroSave? Let's do this step by step. We put HydroSave in the bucket and nebulizer. Since the surface is not very dirty, we can use it as a washing preparation. This is the traditional rinseless washing method. Let's spray HydroSave on the surface without ever letting it dry. Let that soak a little bit, then we are going to wash. We are going to use our microfiber in a very damp condition. We are going to squeeze it out until it reaches a certain amount of humidity that doesn't release the water anymore. And after that, we're going to use a special rolling technique using the full surface of the microfiber when we are going down, lifting it while we are going down, making sure that we take the full surface of the microfiber section. In between, we will flip, and then after, immediately we will dry. Very important that you work panel by panel, because the amount of protection inside of the product is stout, to say the least. Two bonus tips from the product is that you can clean glass streak free and have rejuvenating effects on plastics. When you have used the roll method and you have lifted the dirt from the surface and the dirt is gone, then after that you can take the mat of the microfiber and then wash the surface just one more time to make sure that everything is gone and that the protection inside of HydroSave gets its full potential. So we're doing the lab test where we preheat the surface, put the product in, dry it in, see what happens, see also what the solution is. This test aims to simulate what can happen to those enthusiasts and mobile detailers who wash their car under the sun and leave the product on for too long, risking that the product itself evaporates quickly due to high surface temperature, which is highly not recommended. Now, to understand what we are looking at, remember that the majority of any rinseless is about 85% water and 50% of chemicals inside. That product is then diluted 1 to 200 to 1 to 256 in the bucket, making it about 98% of water inside the bucket, meaning that the spots we are looking at is not product, yet it is water spots. Now to remove water spots, we need an acid. So let's see what happens when we use acido is Italian of course. Let's use preludio acidic and then see the results that we have created during this lab test. So I got preludio. First of all, let me make sure that the surface is cool again, giving preludio acidic on dry hydrosave a little bit more drying time. Dwelling time is the right word, dwelling time. Now it's not like an ergo or purifica, so this one needs a little bit more time. A little bit. Oh, that's a very unprofessional spraying. The smell is okay. So in the world of scales, that's not really a scale meaning weighing scale, but in the world of the nightmare of these spots drying into the surface, consider preludio acido to be like an aspirin, something in the first aid. Water spots can go deep, really deep. Anybody that knows, they might even go through the paint. So if preludio in a case like this does not work, you can always move up to an ergo. If an ergo by any chance does not work, then you at least know you have tried anything in the chemical range of Labocosmetica to remove these water spots, and the only thing left to do is polishing. However, to avoid all this, do not wash the car in the sun. I'm always happy to take you with me into the deep testing or the lab testing to find the extremes, the limitations of a performance of a product. Not only the gloss, the slickness and the smell, but also the capabilities of this product, seeing it through the wide range of environmental issues and the weather conditions we have to deal in as detailers. Now let's check out the benefits of HydroSafe. To summarize, we have seen how to use Labocosmetica's HydroSafe. Our version that will give you a rinseless wash with a wide variety of dilutions to use it in multiple ways that you can think of, like a rinseless wash, a waterless wash, a drying aid that gives beading, sheathing, protection and gloss. Use it panel by panel, check your surroundings and enjoy the use of this product. My name is Reggie Cox. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.
Labocosmetica.